Hello everybody, Ckixy here, and welcome back to Agrarian's Guys. So today I'm going to be building a tree farm, but first I have a quick recap video of my new building that is actually right behind me. So I'll let you guys watch that, and I'll see you guys when you get back. Welcome back. So as you saw in the video, this is my new storage facility. It's pretty nice. I was trying to get it more compact than it currently is, but I kind of like this design a little bit more because it's very nice and open and it doesn't feel all claustrophobic. So the specs of it is basically, since this is a 9x9 platform, these are 9 long. So these have one extra row than a chest per side. So this is basically like a tin chest over here, tin chest over here, and then one on each layer. And I have the elevators here, which are actually very simple to make. I think it's like an ender pearl surrounded by wool or something. And so I only built 2 layers so far, but that's basically all I need for now. Another cool feature that I found out while I was working on this is that they have these little locks on them. So if you shift and right click, it will enable and disable the lock. And this is really nice and very helpful with the design of this building, because what it does is it actually locks items in without needing the item. So you can see I could remove all of these and it still says 0, and then I just right click there. I don't even need the item in my hand because it technically knows that there's an item there that matches, so when you right click it will fill that slot with, or if you have that item. So it's very nice and simple. And how this works is I have a servo back here that will just automatically pull all the items out of here. And now the cool thing about this is since all these are locked, it will try to find a match. And so it will get pulled out, and so like you can see if I take oak saplings, I'll throw them in there and it will try to find a match. So the first match is over here. But then if I put an item in there that doesn't have a match, like a piece of bread, I guess, what it will do is it will see that every single one of these are locked. So technically it sees them as being filled. So it will see that there are no slots, and it will go all the way up to the top, and then it will see that, like I said, there's no slots, and it'll just come right back down to my overflow chest. So the overflow chest is very nice because once I start automating a lot of systems, like for example a mob grinder, you'll get kind of useless pieces of armor like this, and it will put those in the overflow, and you could choose to either trash them, or what the cool thing is I could just start dumping inventory in here, and then I look at the overflow, see what items have not been sorted, and then I find a spot for it on the wall. So it's a good way to either reorganize your items, or it's just a good way to not clog up the system because it would get stuck in this chest otherwise. So that is my storage building. A few other updates that I've done is you can see over here I actually found a very simple way to automate the crucible. I thought it'd be more difficult, but apparently not. So you just put an item hopper in here with cobble, and you can see it just automatically starts filling it up. And then all I did is put a fluid duct with a servo here, and it just pumps the lava right out and into my 2 tanks. And now this thing is kind of bugged, so it only sees 1 tank, and even if the tanks are full, sometimes it glitches out and it doesn't even find a single tank, but it will still smelt. So you can see if I put an item there, it'll just start cooking it up. So there's no issue there, it just kind of glitches out. So the only way to see your overall total lava count is if you look in this one, it has 4K, and this one has 4K. So that is my new smeltery upgrade that I did over there. What else? I moved my pulverizer over here temporarily because it was in the way of my storage unit. I'm actually going to make an RF area over here or over here, and then one of them is going to be ME, not sure where. I'm actually not sure what ME takes. I think it takes RF if I'm correct, but I'm not sure. But yeah, anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna make like an RF area, so all the machines that run off of RF are gonna go in that little corner. Mostly the what's it called, thermal expansion, all of those run off of RF. Is it getting dark already? Oh, it is. So another few updates that I've done is I'm not sure if I showed it on camera, but I made like a really horrible pen over here. You can see kind of some of the remnants of it. And the reason for that is because I got a whole bunch of animals spawning here, and I had to let them somewhat free reign because I needed to get to the sheep for the wool, for like the elevators. And then unfortunately 2 creepers spawned and blew up all the animals. So I just kind of got rid of the pen, and it's like whatever pops out of the ground is there, and they have free roam. Like I think there were cats running back here earlier. Another thing I did is I got rid of the mob grinders. I'm going to eventually add them back as a mob tower within my 9x9 regulation, so it will be nice and compact. And so yeah, those I'll have to add eventually. Also, I got a lot of dirt, so I was able to make a full entire farm of wheat. And this is going to be nice because not only is it food, it's also compost. But that's where the tree farm comes in, because the tree farm actually constantly creates dirt and power and fuel, and basically it's a very nice tree farm. So the tree farm that I'm going to be building today, I found a video that kind of showed the very basics of it, and then I took it and I made like 4 of them, and I was able to fit them into my 9x9 platforms. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to talk about is my 9x9 platforms. I'm thinking of making everything within the 9x9 platforms because I actually had a lot of fun yesterday, I think it was. I was building the tree farm, and it was just a lot of fun because it kind of goes back to when I make redstone, where I have to make it fit within a certain size box. And so my tree farm is actually is 3 tall by 9x9, and that whole entire thing has 24 places that saplings can grow. And then it also automatically chops it down, it automatically makes compost, it automatically makes fuel, and it basically just does a lot of stuff. So it was pretty fun making that. So I guess I'll just get right to it. So these are the materials that are being used. I have 4 planters, 4 harvesters, a whole bunch of item ducts, some leadstone energy conduits, 2 redstone furnaces, and an aqueous accumulator, plus my fuel engine, which is the steam dynamo. And then you have to have 24 pieces of dirt. I have 1 extra just because I accidentally made extra. Actually, I have more. And then a chest and 2 oak barrels. You don't need the 2 oak barrels, but I add oak barrels, and you could add more if you want or less. I just found 2 to 2 just seems to be good. You could actually run with 1 and it probably won't slow the machine down whatsoever. Also, you need 4 pneumatic servos, and you need 5 and a vacuum hopper if you want to build a alternate design, which is the same thing, it just sucks up extra saplings, because sometimes the trees or the leaves break before the harvester can actually break them themselves. So it kind of creates a problem where the saplings drop on the ground instead of being sucked up. And so that's why I sometimes add a vacuum hopper. Oh, and a leadstone energy cell. You could also upgrade the leadstone energy cell and the conduits, but I just use those for this basic design, and it's able to run at full functionality. Another thing I did is when I was building this guy, some reason I was thinking that these storage upgrades made a second facade on the opposite side of the barrel, so I thought I could make like double-sided barrels, and apparently not. So I unaccidentally made a storage upgrade, and then I did a to be able to use this, I needed a slot provider, or the structural MK1. So I made both of these, which is what I said I was going to make this episode, but I didn't make them on camera. So I actually got a quest. I think it's in the For the Hoarding. There we go. So yeah, we have storage wars. So let's go ahead and claim this. And there we go. So next thing that we have to do for the storage is, or for the hoarding, is basically make a whole entire ME system. So let's actually see what our rewards are before we get building. Ooh, I'm breaking 3. That's gonna be nice. I wonder if I should put it on like a nice upgraded hammer. And got a heart. Okay. So let's put this away. And I did sleep, right? Yeah, okay. So let's grab all our materials and get to building. I don't think I have enough storage room. Um, let's see. Oh, also you'll probably want some spruce wood planks. And you want a few covers. So let's see. Okay. Now let's go over here. And the first thing that we want to do is put our harvesters down. So the thing, or actually not harvesters, the planters. There we go. So the thing is, this is actually going to be one extra layer up because I wasn't able to get the dirt flush, and I don't really want anything going below these half slabs, because the half slabs are basically there for if you place something and you want to get it back. It's basically there just for easy recovery. So I don't want anything below easy recovery because it's going to cause an issue. And I think I might be lagging out. Not sure. Oh, that's very weird. I guess I'll place these down and then pick that guy back up. Some reason it changed states. I don't know why. So what you'll want to do is place this, I guess, 2 blocks out from the center on all 4 sides. And they should be spaced out like that. And the reason is because the planters can do a 3x3 grid 1 block above it. So you'll place the dirt here and then a 3x3 around that. So basically we just have those 3x3s. So next thing we want is the energy. So we want to run energy between these on both sides. And the nice thing about this system is everything is basically a mirror image, so it's pretty easy to build. So then we want to build these guys up, and then we want the leadstone energy cell in the very center, and then you want the aqueous accumulator down here in the dead center, and I guess I'll put this facing out the front. And then we want the steam dynamo there, and we want it pointing up to the leadstone energy cell. Now once we have that, we want to take one of the redstone furnaces and put it against the steam dynamo. One thing that to keep in mind is this redstone furnace is actually a extra. You don't need that. I'm going to be using that to make like a biofuel furnace. I'm just going to throw it right on top of the factory so I have a place to cook up items. So you don't actually need that. Next thing, I think I'm going to get water before I get too far ahead of myself, because the water is sometimes a pain to put in afterwards. So one thing to keep the water in is you want to take your item ducts and you want to put one here and then one in front of the redstone furnace, and then you just place a water right there. Another thing that I think I forgot to do is you actually want to turn the furnace sideways, so that way it has a input on this side and an output on this side. And now let's take our second water source up here and let's bring it back down here. And you basically want to do the same thing, just put an item duct there for now. You'll see why those are used later. So now that we're at this point, what we want to do is take a leadstone energy conduit and put it on all 4 sides of the leadstone energy cell, which we already had one side or 2 sides already filled. And so now it should look like this. And the nice thing about this is this leadstone energy cell here will actually power the furnace, so everything should be interconnected. So now we want to take the harvesters and we just want to go in a spiral form. So we'll go to this guy, put it here, so it faces, actually it's facing that way, but it doesn't really matter which way it faces. Then that one there, this one over there, and the last one, oh, not there. And the last one goes there. Okay, so now before we get too far ahead of ourselves, we should probably start changing how stuff inputs and outputs. So we want the redstone furnace, and if it'd probably be easier to visualize it this way. So if you're looking at the face of it, you want to go in here. First off, you want to ignore any redstone signals, and then you want to go into configuration and you want the blue to be on this side because that's the input. Then you want output to be on this side, and the reason for that is this will output directly into the steam dynamo, into that slot. And you can see this automatically gets water, so it's going to be fed charcoal over here and water on this side. So that should be all set up just right. Now I actually do put a backup servo here. You don't have to put a servo here, but I kind of use it just to I kind of just put it there for security reasons. I'm actually starving, so let me eat up real fast. So I'm going to actually set up the filter now. If I actually have oak wood, I might not. I might have used it all up. So yeah, I guess I'll have to update that afterwards. Actually, let me sleep real fast. So yeah, apparently it's not nighttime. So what I normally do there is I put a filter, so it only filters oak logs into the smelter, and then the smelter will output charcoal. Because if you do it backwards on accident, it might get like saplings or apples stuck in it. So let me, oh, that's right. I use my oak saplings as a example over here. Okay, so let's get that back. And yeah, I don't have any oak whatsoever. So I guess what I'll do really fast is just plant one of these here and hope that it grows before I finish off the system. So then the next thing that you want to do is turn this into output. Now the nice thing about these is these actually don't need servos. These will just automatically pull them out. Even though this should output in the back automatically, it will pull it down. Now my original design, I had a vacuum hopper in the center, and these would just drop the items and they'd get pulled to the center. But the issue is if there's a block in front of this, even a sapling, which there will be, then it won't output and it clogs the system. So I kind of found that error out like pretty early. And so now next thing that you want to do is just build these pipes up to the top, and that's why I said this one will go to that, and that's what holds the water in. So that's kind of nice. It has multiple uses. And now you just want to turn all these into output, or I guess intake. I don't know. And then all you want to do is wire up a wire that goes all the way around the system. And this is where I said it kind of gets a little bit sloppy and it kind of wastes a little bit, because technically you could cut off quite a bit of these pipes, but it doesn't really matter. I'd rather have symmetry than efficiency. Okay, so I think that's actually about it for the wiring. Now I'm missing quite a bit of servos. If I remember correctly, they're all used afterwards. Yeah, I think so. Another thing that I like to do is, this is just because I don't like having multiple inputs. It doesn't actually affect the machine whatsoever, but you can see it has 2 inputs, and I just disable, oh, wrong one. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, so I just disable those just to make it simpler. Oh, that's right. Okay, so this guy, what we want to do is make the bottom blue and then all other sides orange. And that will, orange is output and blue is input, I believe. And I don't know why they have it backwards like that, but yeah, that's how you want it to be. And I believe everything else is good. These ones, you don't want to change any of these. Shear leaves, we'll shear them and turn them into leaf blocks, which is good for compost, but it's very bad for the machine because it relies on harvesting the saplings, and then half of the saplings go into the planters, half of them go outside into a compost bin. So you want to keep that in mind. Also, we're gonna grab something that's useless. I'm just gonna grab, I guess I'll grab bone meal since I have a lot of it. So let's grab that. The reason for this is because you could let the machine fill up with 16 slots of 64 stacks if you really want to, but I'd prefer only having one slot for saplings, and that allows it to fill up pretty fast. And I clicked on the wrong area. There we go. So yeah, I just kind of waste these slots so it doesn't have any issues down the road. So let's just finish these up. I might be a few bone meal short, but I have a supply hidden somewhere. Yeah, I'm a little bit short. Oh, just one. I'll just put that there. Okay, so that's good enough. One thing that I was actually wanting to do is start growing a batch of saplings. So, because eventually you want 4 stacks of 64 saplings, and that's so the system will run continuously, because currently it will have a bit of a hiccup once these run out of saplings. So that's good. And I'm actually going to only run one farm currently, so I'll keep one farm there. The rest of the farms will be empty until they get fed saplings from the other machines. So now that that is good, let's see. So now here is where the covers come in. You want to cover everything around the front, or basically where you're gonna have the output chest. You want to cover everything around that until the halfway point. And this is actually a question I have. If anyone is experienced with FTB and Agrarian Skies, there was this old mod pack which was Red Power. I mentioned it in the previous episode, and Red Power had pneumatic pipes, and pneumatic pipes had a specific pipe called a restrictor pipe. And basically what it did is it made the system think that that pipe was 1,000 blocks away. So then what it'd do is when it was trying to figure out where storage would go, it would be like, okay, I'll check the closest chest. Is that chest full? If so, continue on. And it'll keep on checking. And then it comes to a restrictor pipe, it's like, okay, that chest is 1,000 blocks away, so I'm not going to attempt that until the very end. So then it keeps on checking all the chests until its last choice is to go the theoretical 1,000 blocks, when in reality it's only 1 block away, but it has a restrictor pipe which makes it think that it's 1,000 blocks. So my question is there a item duct that is able to do that same functionality? Because currently I'm having to trick it by actually making the chest very far away. So what I'm doing here is, well, for one thing, it's symmetry, because I don't actually need it on both sides, but I like doing that because it makes it a little faster. And then all we want to do is put a chest right here, dead center. So now what this is it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks away from this junction point. And then this junction point will go 9 blocks to either storage before it even attempts to go to the chest. So I think the closest storage is this guy, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's roughly the same, but hopefully it'll fill that up with saplings before it even attempts to go there. And I actually did something wrong here. I meant to disable those ones and enable those ones. Ooh, and there. So yeah, I kind of did this a little backwards, but it shouldn't be too hard. Oh, and I'm not sure what the color coding is for. Like, I know what it's meant for, but I don't know exactly how to use it. Because like pneumatic servos, you used to have, or you could put a filter in, and then you could filter it according to what color it was. So now that these are divided, you could see that it separates pretty easily. So next thing that you want to do, this is more just decoration, but what I do is, well, first I need to get rid of this guy, and I need to put a cover. Oh, where'd it go? I need to put a cover here, here, and here. So then we want to put these guys wrapping all the way around, like so. and that will leave just a big, or just about an opening, I don't know why I'm saying, it'll leave an opening just big enough for the pipe to actually fit through. And then we want to do the same thing over here, and then finish that off. And now you could just pick these back up, and then you want to do the same thing in the very center. Okay, now that that's done, let's actually pick up these stairs really fast, temporarily. And I'll get rid of the front ones just for easy accessibility. So now what we want is a chest in the center, and then I missed one of these. That's weird. I was wondering, it looked off center. Then we want our 2 oak barrels, one on either side. And like I said, you could do this with only 1 oak barrel. I just chose 2 for simplicity and for symmetry. And then next thing that we want is servos. So we want a servo, where was it? Yeah, we want 1 servo there, 1 servo here. And then we want a item duct across the top. And then I actually put a servo here just to help filter items, and then 1 there. Or actually, no, I don't need a servo here. That's right. Okay, so like I said, is 4 servos, 1 there, 2 there, 3 there, and then the 4th one is there. And that one's optional. And actually, just in time. I was about to cover this all up. Is my okay, good. So yeah, now that I have oak, oh, missing something over here. I can go over to this. Oh, right. I need an empty hand. And I really need to sleep soon. I'm probably gonna let stuff spawn. So you want to change this to whitelist, and you want to throw the piece of oak there. So now that will only put oak into that furnace, and that's what you want. Okay, good. No mob spawn close by. I'm actually almost out of food. I'm a little worried. I thought I had a pretty big stockpile. If anything, I'll just eat raw bread. It shouldn't be any problem. Okay, so now we're actually very close to the end. One thing I forgot to make is oak barrels, but those don't need to be there. One thing that's about this wood farm is that it actually produces a lot of wood, and so this, I call it a buffer. It's a chest, but I basically use it as a buffer. So basically it will hold items temporarily until they could be exported to other locations. So the only thing that should be stored here permanently until it's able to be used is saplings, because those will be routed into the compost, which I can actually do right now. So we want to switch this guy to export, and then throw a sapling into the whitelist. So yeah, that's basically, saplings are the only thing that you want this thing to be holding onto. The rest you could export into barrels or to a storage facility. And so then the next thing that we want to do is invert these guys. And you don't have to put a filter on them because they're just going to be exporting dirt. And of course you want to always ignore redstone, because that, or did I not put a servo in here? I didn't put a servo, did I? Let's see. There we go. So yeah, you always want to ignore redstone because otherwise it'd stay off. And there we go. So now this, any items that are overflow, so any extra saplings, any extra wood, any extra apples, will get exported all the way over to here. It'll go into this chest. This chest will either hold onto them or put them into barrels, which I'll add soon. And then the saplings will get exported and put into the 2 compost bins. And then this will suck the dirt out and put it back into the buffer. So it's kind of like a small little circle. So I think that is all I need to make this thing fully functioning. Let me just check on everything. Um, Let me disable this servo just in case. It might cause an issue. Even though these are off, I'm worried that it'll not search for the wood to put in there. And I think that's everything. I just need to disable these redstone. And let's kick up the system. So all you need is one piece of charcoal to kick up the system. And once that starts powering, it will power this energy cell. And it'll start powering these guys here. And you can see it just start chopping away. And now that's actually a lot of wood, so I might have to put more power in. Let me just put a few backup charcoal. It'll refill that charcoal pretty fast, but I'll just put back up. Now, unfortunately, I'm using opaque pipe, so you can't actually see the items, but right now, items are being drawn out of this guy. They're wrapping around, they're going up here, and they're going into the redstone furnace. Like so. There they are. So now this will start cooking up the charcoal and being put back in here. And you can see that chopped down like probably 10 or so logs. You can see, or 8 logs, there we go. So now you can see that chopped down 8 logs with 2 pieces of charcoal. And so now this is going to be producing 8 pieces of charcoal. And so you can kind of see how efficient it is with how much power it uses, because it only uses about 1/4. I don't actually know the number, but it's probably around there. And so there's a lot of excess energy coming off of this, and so that's one reason why I built this guy, the redstone furnace, because I'm just gonna plop this down, and whenever I need to smelt anything, I'll just run over here and start smelting it up. I know it's a little bit of an odd area to put it, but it should be good. So now all we want to do is cover this all with dirt, and then like I said, these will be harvesting saplings, and it's going to be put into all these chests. So you can see now there's 17 over here. There's none over here, which eventually, once this one fills up, it'll transport to this, and it should be good. Now I'm a little curious. I'm missing a lot of dirt. I don't know where I put my dirt. Or, oh, I miscounted. Some reason I was thinking it's 24 dirt, but it's actually 36. So yeah, I think I'm gonna let this run for a little bit, and then I'll be right back to show it with all of its efficiency, and once it's all up and running. So I'll see you all very soon. And we're back. So after I think it was only like 30 minutes and about 4 stacks of bones and a watering can, I was able to get them all the way back up to full. So now we have 64 saplings in there, and this is what I was talking about. They just randomly drop because leaves despawn. And where else? We have one over here, and this guy over here. So you can see all those are full. And now that those are full, you can see this is decomposing dirt over here, or creating dirt over here. Compositing, I guess, or composting. Wow, that's the word I was looking for. I just could not think of that word for some reason. But I'm actually a little surprised with the saplings here. On my test one, these saplings would always be drained, and it would always be like trying to fill the like one barrel. It might have been because I was just like watering them, so is probably having some leftover effect, but you can see the trees are just popping up like crazy. So I guess a few specs of this is, like I said, it has 36 spawning platforms for trees. So at all times, 36 trees are trying to constantly grow, and that creates quite a bit amount of like just continuous wood. You can see I already almost have 10 stacks of oak wood or oak logs, and that is actually going to be very nice for like oak barrels and all that. It's going to be so nice. Or not oak barrels, the deep storage unit things, better barrels, there we go. Yeah, barrels, whatever. So that's that. The other thing is I had this guy up here, the furnace, and it was causing some issues. Some of the trees weren't wanting to grow because there was a block 2 blocks high. So I just kind of buried it in here. I shut off all the interaction, so it's not going to have an issue. And so all I have to do is run over here. I could harvest some wheat, and then I could run over to this guy. I could craft it into bread, and then I just have an automatic way to cook it up. So that's going to be very nice, having a continuous way to cook stuff. Another thing you can see here, this is actually pretty drained, but I believe that's still repercussions from me continuously growing these trees. I think it wasn't able to keep up, but now that they're growing naturally, it should be able to keep up just fine. The thing that I was saying about the servo over here, remember at the beginning I was saying that you need a servo to tell it to put wood into here? But now you're not going to need that whatsoever, because it's always going to have at least a stack of wood in it. So this is kind of cool. You could kind of see how much buffer this has. So if anything happens to this, it will have backup energy for quite a long time. So this thing has 40 or 400,000 RF of backup storage, and you can see now it's going up pretty fast. This thing has a backup storage of 64 charcoal. This thing here has a backup storage of 64 charcoal and 64 oak wood. So this whole entire system has quite a bit of backup. And then this, what you see here, is complete like leftover. This is not even being used by the machine. So all this oak right here can be converted into fuel and converted into power to power other machines, or it could just be used as oak wood if you so decide to. And you could probably tap off of this if you really wanted to, but it'd be a lot easier to transport the oak logs and then convert it into power. And I think that's about it for this. A few things I wanted to talk about is one thing I did want to say is this is sort of an experimental Let's Play. I'm going to keep it a Let's Play, but some of the editing is going to probably be changing. You could probably already see that. So please let me know what you think about some of the stuff, like the recaps, like time lapses. The time lapse that I ran for this video was a little bit bad because a few people wanted to see my building, so I thought, why not record me building this? But I didn't want to talk over it because, well, it took me like 4 hours to build this guy. So when I tried to convert that into a time lapse, I was trying to compress 4 hours into 4 minutes, and it kind of got a little bit spastic. You could probably see, and I hope I didn't make anyone nauseous, or I hope the flashing didn't bother anyone, because it was, like I said, a little spastic. So this is what's it called? I think it's 1.6.4. So I should be able to get the Cam Studio mod, or not Cam Studio. Actually, it might be called Cam Studio. There's a certain mod that allows you to make like ghost people up in the air, and you can make them fly from like one point to the other point. You could set the time like crazy. I think one time I did time lapse where it was like 10 hours, and he just flew from one point to the other while recording the whole entire thing. And so I might use that. There was a few issues when I was using it, and it might have just been because it was in SMP, but every time I'd open my inventory, you could kind of see how the background turns dark. It would do that in the camera. So the camera, like every time I opened my inventory, it looked like lightning was flashing or something. So like I said, I'll have to figure out something. I do want to record more of my like casual building, because a lot of this just takes hours and hours of work. Like building the platforms, it's very tedious work having to lay out the tiny plank covers. They're very hard to build platforms with. So but it's something that I decided to work with because I want that like safety rail, so I could, for example, just break something and collect it without worrying about catching it or anything like that. But yeah, so things like that, tedious work, will take a lot of time, and so that I'm hoping to either capture with a time lapse or just not even show it. But like I said, I need to work on that. Also, something I might do off camera, since I already showed how to build one farm or one tree farm, I'm thinking of building a second tree farm with only one spawning pad in all 4 corners. And then I'm going to make all 4 corners a different sapling. So I'm going to have like spruce, probably not jungle, I hate jungle. It's such a weird color. So I'll probably have spruce, amaranth, I think it's called, the purple. So then I'll have like amaranth. I'm actually farming for fuse wood right now, but I'm hoping that since these are machines, I'm hoping it doesn't make the fuse wood explode, because fuse wood, if you punch it, it actually explodes in your face. So I'm hoping, oh yeah, you can see that's full now. I'm hoping it doesn't explode. I'll do some testing with that off camera. And so yeah, I'll have like spruce, amaranth, fuse, and rubber. Actually, yeah, rubber trees would be a really good one here. And I'll only need one spawning pad for those because it'll be more of a passive generator, and I don't need like a crazy amount of it. The main reason why I have this a crazy amount is because oak can grow next to each other, so that's why I put so many spawning pads close and adjacent to one another, and also because I'm gonna be using this as fuel. And the nice thing about items is items don't lose power while they're being transferred, because I'm not sure if it's with these tubes, but I know with previous energy sources, the longer you run the wire, the more drop off it has. Like it'll start losing power the further it has to go, and items don't lose power whatsoever. So I could transport this all the way over there, and then I'll have another form of these generators, which is just a steam dynamo plus a furnace. Back to back will continuously generate power. So yeah, I think that's about it for this episode. One thing I did want to ask, if you want to comment about it down in the comment section. I was thinking of doing a tutorial of this, and I know it's not like my vanilla tutorials, and I'm normally very against FTV tutorials, mostly because the mods constantly change and there's no like static way to always use something. But I really enjoyed creating this, and it's decently compacted. It could be compacted more, but it's decently compacted, so I was debating about making a tutorial, so I was wondering your guys' opinion. And yeah, I think that's about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.